Hey guys, Jason here. Just want to do a quick update to my whitetail deer pack video. Want to talk about some things that I've changed, things that I like, things that I didn't like. But anyways, we'll start with the bag. The bag's the same. It's a Tactical Tailor removable operator pack. It's a great bag. It's made in the USA. It's been through 2.5 seasons now, plus some scouting and things like that. Man, there's no frays, no damage, nothing, man. It's been in a really super great bag. It's lightweight, it's compact. As I showed you in the previous video, you've got these quick release buckles up here that I attach to my tree stand so that I can clip it on and off as I need to. The straps here are also quick detach, which is handy. You can tuck these in this compartment here to make a smooth back if you're hauling it up and down a tree. You can just disconnect the buckles if you need to drop the pack real quick. If you've got heavy clothes on, you don't want to get out and mess with the straps, just disconnect them and drop it. I've added a whistle here. What we do is sometimes when we get ready to come out of the woods, you'll actually have to approach another guy's stand and you'll walk out together kind of in a leapfrog pattern. And so what we'll do is on our way out, we'll blow the whistle to let the other person know that we're approaching, just for a safety thing. And also it's good to have a whistle if you're in the woods for signaling if you get lost or what have you. But got a whistle, just added that. We've added a new med kit here. This is a pouch by ITS Tactical. It's made in the USA by Zulu Nylon Gear. Again, multicam pattern. It's a quick deploy. You just grab the red handle, pull it straight down, you can access your contents. This is a kit that's based on an Adventure medical kit that I've added to. It's got some Advil, as you can see. It's got some Imodium AD. It's got some Zantac that I've added myself. We've got some tweezers here, some safety pins, a little more advanced blister treatments, some tape, just some things that fit me. I've got some replacement contact lenses in here, so just some things that I would use specific to me. And I always encourage anybody that carries a medical kit to take it apart and look at it and add things that you're going to need, that you would use, prescription medications, things for your vision. All those kind of things are specific to you, and you need to make sure that those things are in your first aid kit. I've added a tube here of Afterbite. This is good for chiggers, mosquitoes, things like that. It's also good, this has baking soda in it, so if you get some blood on your clothes, you want to get that spot out, you can put it on there, kind of just rub the fabric together, it'll come right out. We've added some Quick Clot. This is a clotting agent designed to address things that are probably a little more severe than what you would just use a regular bandage for. But I've got some of that in there. It's very light. It's vacuum packed, so it doesn't take up in your room, and it goes in with the rest of the first aid kit. So that's the first aid kit. It's on the outside for easy access, and it's just a real handy thing to have on your gear. We've got on the front, I've added this little light here. This is a Night Eyes, I think. Used for if I need to access the contents at night. It's more of a backup light than anything. Also, in case I need to set the bag down at night. It has the dimming function, and also it's got a strobe function that I can set. So if I set it down, it can blink and I know where my bag's at. I'm not prone to leave it in the woods. This is kind of a neat thing. This is a UTA. It's by Source Hydration. And what this does is it's an adapter that you can take your mouthpiece off here if you're using a Source bladder. Just pull the mouthpiece off, stick this in here like so, and I can use a hose pipe, a spigot, water bottles. I can fill my hydration bladder up without actually taking it out of the bag, and that's a really handy thing to have. What I like to do is I'll keep a couple bottles of water in the cooler, and before I head out, I'll put that cold water in my hydration bladder, so I've got cold water for the length of my hunt. Really a handy thing to have if you're running a Source bladder, so you don't have to pull the bladder out to fill it up. So it's really nice. It's got a neat little pouch on the front that's multicam that hangs out right there. This is a pouch made for me by FHF Gear, which is Fish Hunt Fight Gear. Paul's a great guy. He does custom gear. I couldn't find one of these in the market, so he made one for me. This is a flagging tape dispenser. It's multicam, and per my specs, he put some elastic loops on here. I can put a chem light on here if I want to. I've got extra webbing on the front if I want to stack pouches so I can have two different colors if needed. But flagging tape's really handy because what I'll do is as I'm tracking, I'll mark definite sign, especially if I'm tracking a blood trail, because I can look back and get a back line and say, okay, this is the general direction of travel, so I kind of know where to expect my next sign or blood spatter or something like that. So flagging tape's really nice. It's great in scouting where you can mark locations and things like that. It's cheap, it's easy, really good thing to have here. We've got a little Silva compass here. This is a little cheap compass and a thermometer. Basically the thing you use it for is a thermometer, so you know how bad you're freezing to death. But didn't have that too big of a problem last year. It was really mild here in the south. But we've got this is a sling, a climbing sling, that any of you familiar with climbing equipment, rock climbing equipment, will know what this is. But I use this just as a quick method. If I'm sitting in the stand and I want to hang my bag, I'll just go around the rail like this and clip it into the carabiner here. I've got just a plain black pair of mechanics gloves. I mostly use this scouting if I need to go in and work or something. During the hunt season, these will probably be in the bag or not carried at all, but since this was set up for a scouting trip, these are on the outside. Lastly, the hydration pocket is in here. So it's kind of neat that they put the hydration in there, and what that does for you is you still have this whole big compartment here open for your straps. I've actually carried a small hatchet down in here when we were scouting and clearing. So a lot of functionality in this little bag here. Lastly is this external pouch here. We've got, this is my haul line. I've got it bundled up here. It's clipped on the carabiner, so to deploy all I'm going to do is unhook the carabiner and drop it straight out the bottom, and it's ready to go. So I've got a haul line here with some 550 paracord. I've also got a small pulley here, which is really handy to have if you're pulling up a lot of weight. If you got your gun, your bag, and everything else, you can just clip in here and pull it up on a pulley, which lessens your mechanical effort. So we got a pulley and the haul line and its own external pouch here, which are the common things that we have. Let's go on to the inside pocket here, or the front pocket. The way they've done this is, as you can see, a vertical zipper. So what that's good for is if you're walking, you need to get to some of this in the main compartment. You can sling it off one shoulder, and it comes down in front of you, and you can get in here, which is nice to have. You do have to be careful. They did leave a little bit of a lip here, so things won't fall out, but you have to be careful to make sure you don't have anything fall out here. Inside we've got some Maxi-Deed insect repellent. Always handy in the deep south, especially, well, really all season. So keep some of that there. We've got this is a Surefire Minimus headlamp. I used the black version of this for 2 seasons and really liked it. They came out with this camo version. But just a super nice light. It's one of the best headlights that I've used. It's really durable. The beam is nice and wide, but it's also bright. The battery lasts. I went 2 full seasons on one battery and it was still going strong, but I just replaced it just out of habit. But this is a super light. It's a little more expensive than some of the ones on the market, but like I said, it's no frills and it just plain works, which is usually the sign of the best gear. So Surefire Saint Minimus, great light. That's about it for the main compartment. Like I said, normally we would have a grunt call. I don't have that in here right now, but that will go with me. And a lot of times you'll have these gloves in this main compartment. So sometimes I may take a GPS. That's just kind of depending on where I'm hunting. I'm pretty familiar with where I'm at now, so it's not as necessary, but if I do have a GPS, it's going to be carried in this main compartment. Into the large compartment here, we've got a folding saw. This is a Steel brand folding saw. I'm sure somebody else makes this for Steel, but it's a great saw. It's really sharp, it cuts well, it cuts way out of proportion to its size, and I just highly recommend to everybody that hunts carry a folding saw, because you always need to prune branches. Can be a tree in your way or something like that, and this is really handy. It's a lot more efficient than an axe or a hatchet or anything like that. It's a lot lighter. There's a new product on the market that I'm curious to try. It's a saw that has a pole built into it that collapses. That seems like it would be handy, but haven't had a chance to try one yet. They're kind of pricey too, so we're just sticking with old reliable here, and it is certainly reliable, and it is very, very good. So again, recommend everybody carry a folding saw. Next thing is a Leatherman tool. I've also got the bit kit with this. The bit kit is handy because I can fit just about anything on my rifle: scope screws, stock screws. If I need to make adjustments or modifications, that tool kit is really handy to have. Of course, the Leatherman Wave has a lot of features in it. I actually used the file this season. We were clearing land. The brush cutter blade got dull and used the file to put some chisel teeth back into it. It's really handy, really nice to have. It's worth its weight to carry to have a Leatherman tool. We've got a Adventure Medical Kit's emergency bivvy in case I have to spend the night out or to treat for shock. You can use this as an emergency blanket as well. So light and small, it's worth it to carry. I've got a 100-foot hank of paracord for obvious reasons. You always need some good cord, and paracord is the best. So I keep this in the plastic bag because if I need to pull it out, the plastic bag helps it move in and out of the pack a lot easier. The loops doesn't get hung on things or Velcro or anything. So 100-foot hank of cord in a plastic bag. I've got a small pouch here. This is my goodie pouch. I've got some fruit snacks and some trail mix, and I'll keep granola bars in here and things like that. Just snacks in case I get hungry in the stand, or a lot of times what will happen is you get one on the ground, and so you got to go find it, and it gets later in the day than you want. You don't have time to stop and eat or what have you. So it's always good to have some snacks with you. Not necessarily for survival purposes, but just general comfort when you're out hunting. Next thing we have, portable TP. This is just, you can buy this at any travel store. It's basically toilet tissue without the core roll in it. I like this because this plastic carrier keeps it from getting all nasty and mangled up in your bag. It takes up a lot less room. No reason to explain why you need this, but trust me, you need it. Next thing we have, this actually replaced the small items bag. This is a Tactical Tailor admin pouch, and what we've got in here is we've got some Sharpie markers. I've got the little wrench they send for my tree stand in case I need to make adjustments to it. I've got a small vial here. This is has waterproof matches in it. This is an Exotac match holder. I've got a backup Surefire light. This is the L1 LumaMax model. It runs off a single 123 battery, and I like this because my headlight and my backup light both use the same battery. So all I have to carry is 2 spares, and I've got redundancy in both my lights, which is really nice to have. We've got some spare batteries here. I've got a couple AAAs. I've got some AA's for the GPS, and then I've got some backup 123s. I like these little carriers because they keep your batteries together, and it makes sure you don't have any ground problems if you ground them out. And then lastly, on this side, I've got a fire kit that I made myself. What you've got in here is you've got some lifeboat matches, you've got some wet fire tinder, magnesium fire starter. We've got a paper towel in here with some fat pine shavings, which work great. They will take a excellent spark off of this. This is a Light My Fire Army Fire Steel. They'll take a spark right off of that. They burn hot, they burn long, they're water resistant. And I vacuum seal this because it's more of an emergency type thing. It's not something that I dig into regularly, so I vacuum sealed it to kind of make it waterproof and also take up less room in the pack. I've got some Wet Ones disposable hand wipes here, good for a lot of different uses. I've got some Zeiss pre-moistened lens cloths. These are good for your scope or binocular optics. They're also kind of an alcohol pad, so you can use them for just general cleaning purposes. So I found them to work really well for that kind of thing. And then lastly, I've got a plastic bag here. What will go in this is my doe tags. Any documentation that I need to carry will be in here with this bag. So that's basically it, guys. I won't bore you with putting this back up. Oh, one more thing. We've got some cordage here in the bottom of the bag. I've got some accessory rope here. There's about 30 foot of accessory rope for just general all-purpose use. Never go anywhere without some sturdy rope in case you need to drag. I've also got some climbing slings here, different lengths and sizes bundled up. I like the slings a lot because I've got a longer one here if you're carrying a deer out, just go around the neck, put a half hitch in it, and or a girth hitch in it, hook it over your trailer ball, he's out the door. No knots, nothing to fuss with. They're really strong. Again, they're Dyneema, they're climbing grade stuff, so they're really good. They're a little more pricey. You could probably make your own if you know knots out of just some general rope, but a good loop of rope in different lengths are really, really handy to have. All-purpose use, especially with that girth hitch, because it comes loose easy. You don't have to know any fancy knots, and that will be it. But guys, I really appreciate your comments on my channel. I really appreciate the hits that I've got on my previous videos, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you've learned something. Leave me some comments. Again, this is an open thing. We can all learn from each other, and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again, guys. Good luck this season.